He is the first baseman. Gunnar Altenbaumer will be the second baseman and batting eighth, and then Von Derek Thomas will be in left field and batting ninth today. Arkadelphia 1-1 in conference. Ashdown 2-0 in conference, and this could be a good place for the Badgers to get back on the winning track, as Ashdown picked to be one of the better teams in the conference in 7-4A this year, back in the conference for the first time in several years, and off to a very good start, as everyone assumed they probably would. Nashville and Ashdown are leading the conference at 2-0. Right behind them is Arkadelphia at 2-1, and then DeQueen 1-1, Fairview 2-2, Malvern and Magnolia with one win apiece, and Hope yet to pick up a conference win. We're going to pause for the anthem, and we'll be right back, so keep it right here with us. So looking out on the field, you could tell Ashdown only suits up about 12 players today, and Arkadelphia travels about 25. So a lot of disparity between the number of kids that are on the line during the national anthem, but they can only put 9 on the field at a time on defense, and that's what Ashdown will do here to get things started, as they are the home team. And Arkadelphia will send their 1, 2, 3 batters up in the form of Babb, Young, and Campbell. So a good start for the top of the lineup here so far this year. Babb is batting .316. He's going to lead things off for the Badgers. KD is batting .333. And then you'll see Campbell, who is a team-leading .421. So obviously a lot of pop at the top of the lineup here for the Badgers, and they hope to get started on a nice sunny day, but breezy and cool, 55 degrees at game time. Wind gusting as much as 12 to 15 and directly out of the north. So a couple of things that are probably not going to happen this afternoon. We're not going to see a lot of long balls get out of the park, and we're not going to smell Domtar from as the wind is blowing the opposite direction. So
no,
thank
we
goodness
smell
for that.
those burgers.
We can smell those burgers. And we'd like to say hello to our man in the booth and the color of the day, Mr. Chris Babb. Hello, Mr. Babb.
Yeah, glad to be here. And not going to have a lot of crowd noise today because we are inside and we could open the window, but then all you might hear is wind. It is windy. The flag is just hanging stiff now, just still now, like there's no wind. But I think there's going to be wind all game long.
There is. Carter Babb steps in for the Badgers to lead things off from the left side. Again, hitting .333 on the young season. Carter takes inside ball 1. There's an outside right on the outside part of the plate for strike 1, a ball and a strike. Pitcher working quickly, and he got Babb swinging at strike 2. And here's the 1-2. It's fouled away, back off out to the left side.
Really quickly, this pitcher for Ashdown really reminiscent of Wesley Campbell from Fountain Lake. Really works quickly.
Yeah, he does. Hilton is his name. I'm not sure. Didn't see his number in the program, so we know his Hilton. There's a backdoor.
Yeah, he tried to get that ball to break. Tried to get it to break back over the plate, but didn't get the call. Started out just a little bit too far.
And Babb does his job as he draws a leadoff walk to get the first base runner of the day on for the Badgers, and K.D. Young will see plate for his first time. K.D. off to a little bit of a slow start, but then turned it on the last few games to hoist that average up over 300. And now Hilton will go from the stretch, righty versus righty in the box, steps back off the rubber. Babb back to the bag. He's getting a decent primary lead there. He's being held on by the first baseman. Here's the pitch to KD, a big swing, big cut, missed there. 0-1 to the Arkadelphia DH. The 0-1 is low and outside.
Derek Hilton is the Ashdown pitcher. I remember seeing him last year in a year or two in a couple of non-conference games, too.
Not working quite as quickly from the stretch as he did from the windup. Obviously, with a runner at first and Babb, he's going to give him a little bit of attention. Arkadelphia coach is on the field. Coach Roop in the first base box. Coach Benson Jordan over in the third base box. And as usual, barking out the signs and signals is Coach Lowe from the dugout. Long stare over at Babb. 2-1 is the count. High. Babb is going. Nobody is there covering. They're late getting there. A little confusion there between the shortstop and second baseman from Ashdown. And Babb is able to get in. He really didn't even need to slide. The throw was not a bad throw. It just there wasn't anyone there to really commit to getting the tag on. So Babb's in scoring position now. 3-1 the count to KD. Inside, ball 4.
Nope.
Oh man,
you were giving him the base like KD thought he was getting ready to get.
I was wrong. KD and I both were on the same page, and we were both dead wrong, according to the home plate umpire. So now the count is full. There's a shot that's going to get out of play pretty quickly.
Landed on top of the fence. You know, this is a beautiful park here. It drains well. Obviously, it was tarped. And you're talking to Austin Cross, the head coach, and one of our friends, Turner Pentecost, the former Badger. They did not get as much rain down here as they thought they might and as much as we got in Arkadelphia.
And there's that inside pitch that KD didn't like any more the second time than the first. But nonetheless, he goes down for the first strikeout on the board. And Trip Campbell now leading the league, batting over 400. Off and running to third base is Babb, and he's in there. He beats the tag. The throw was there. Nice slide on the backside of the bag by Carter, and he's able to get in there. A quick call by the field umpire, much to the chagrin of the home crowd, but it looked like he was able to get around. The tag was just not put on.
Yeah, I think he slid to the backside of the bag, and the tag was brought right to the front corner. That's a close one. The ball did beat him. He's fortunate he got the call.
So nice job now. Not sure if there was a missed sign. Either way, there's a base hit into left field, and that'll be the first RBI and run of the game. Compliments of Trip Campbell and Carter Babb and some crafty base running.
Yeah, Campbell goes inside out from that left side, just did what he needed to do to poke it in there. I don't think that's an RBI if Carter's still at second base, but it was the stolen base for Carter that got him in with the RBI situation. Now there's going to be a courtesy runner for the pitcher. I think that's probably going to be Dylan Rogers. Yeah. See Dylan Rogers.
And it is.
Taking the long sleeve top off to get the to run for Trip Campbell.
Dylan not big in stature, a young man that can make his way around the bases and has played a pretty good shortstop for the Badgers at times, even in some conference action. Caden Brown, he's been a nice surprise for Arkadelphia. He's been one of the hotter hitters and worked his way into the cleanup spot here early in the season, batting .368. So we'll see if Caden Brown can keep the hot first inning alive for Arkadelphia. Leading off is Rogers from first. There's a shot right back up the middle. It's going to take an awkward bounce off the mound, and the only play the second baseman has, and just in time, is to first to get Brown, and that ball just took a little bit of a an English hop off of the mound before it got to the second baseman, but not enough to totally disrupt.
I think that might have been a chance for a double play. Then he just kind of took the hop off to the right. The second baseman had to, go back to his left, and his only play was at first.
So fielder's choice, and moves Dillon along, and there's a shot out into left field, and it's going to hang up just enough for the left fielder to get to it and make the third out of the inning. But Arkadelphia starts off with some good base running and a good leadoff walk by Carter Babb, and then driving in is what Arkadelphia does at the top of that lineup with Trip Campbell. So Arkadelphia will take the 1-0 lead here as we're going to take 30 seconds and be back to Ashdown. You're listening to Badger Baseball on your Mascot Media application. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Taylor King. I've been practicing law for over 34 years, but long before that, I learned what it takes to be a good lawyer. Caring for others. You could say it's a family trait, and it's one I've passed along to my kids. If you've been involved in an accident, call 1-800-CAR-WRECK. I want to help.
We want to help, to be on your side, by your side. I'm Austin King. Now, I've not been practicing law quite as long as my dad, but thanks to him, I know what it takes to be a good lawyer. I guess you could say it runs in the family.
Make Print Mania in downtown Arkadelphia your place to get embroidery, screen printing, trophies, and more. Drop by their store on Main Street in downtown Arkadelphia or visit their website at printmaniatees.com to see how they can help your business or group. Need a shirt for an event? Let Print Mania take care of that. Need promotional materials for your business or organization? You can let Print Mania take care of that too. A family-run local business in Arkadelphia, Print Mania has been serving the public since 1992. Call Print Mania today, 870-246-3803.
Blake Bell and Chris Babb back with you for a Friday afternoon edition of Badger Baseball. Arkadelphia versus Ashdown today. We're in Ashdown at their city park, and as we left for the break just a minute ago, I'll mention Mascot Media. Arkadelphia finished the month of February number 2 in the state and number 3 in the nation as far as views on Mascot Media. So we'd like to thank our fans for tuning in. We appreciate you being here. I know the boys do. And so anytime you're able to tune into that Mascot Media app or your ArkadelphiaBadgerTV.com, we certainly appreciate it. Back on the mound for the first time since a no-hitter is Arkadelphia senior left-hander Trip Campbell. Campbell will face top of the lineup, Garrett Jones and Blankenship. And here's the first pitch. Fouled away down the left side. Beautiful ballpark, as Chris stated, but a lot of these ballparks are going to have a whole lot of foul territory, not so much here in Ashdown.
No, it does angle when you get to the dugout. You can kind of tell on your screen that it's on the left and the right, that's as much foul territory as there is. Trip the lefty, mentioned Ashdown head coach Austin Cross earlier. Arkadelphia fans who've been following baseball for a while will remember that he was the ace pitcher on the Ashdown staff and really did some battles with Arkadelphia during the 13, 14, 15 seasons.
Yeah, there's a ground ball that's hit over to the first base side and quickly over to retrieve it and back to the bag is Caden Brown. And so good contact there by the Ashdown leadoff man. He fouled a couple back, finally got around enough of it, but it wasn't enough to get on base as Brown is able to go to his right and then back to the bag for the first out.
But Austin Cross was a lefty pitcher. He actually threw to the Panthers on, I believe it was Wednesday. He threw 5 innings so they could get used to seeing a lefty in the form that they're going to see today in Trip Campbell.
And those were a lot of good battles between Ashdown and Arkadelphia. I remember, I think they played 4 times the second year Arkadelphia won the state championship. Arkadelphia won all 4 of them.
Yeah, I think there were 11 times over a course of about 3 or 4 years where they played. But, you talk about some head coaches who were great pitchers in their day. Austin Cross at Ashdown and Arkadelphia head coach Drew Lowe at Prescott were 2 of the best high school pitchers in their day.
Yeah, and both lefties. 2-1 now as Campbell retired the first and now going a little deeper in the count with Jones, the shortstop, just a sophomore. He bats from the right side. He tried the back door and just missed it. 3 balls and a strike now to Jones.
Softball teams playing across the way. It's here in the city park, not close like the two fields are in Arkadelphia. We'll try to get you some updates from softball as we go. It's, Ashdown, one of the top teams in the conference, playing Arkadelphia, coming off of a 7-1 loss to Malvern, which it was a Malvern team that is one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the state in softball, and the Lady Badgers held with them through about 4 or 5 innings.
So Ashdown has their first base runner of the day, and it's the shortstop Jones. Blankenship now, the junior catcher, will step to the plate. Takes high for ball 1. Campbell 1 walk away from a perfect game last time out against Magnolia over at the Majestic Park in Hot Springs. Beautiful playing facility there and overall facility. Our good friend Derek Phillips was on with Chris Babb. Hope you got to catch some of that. He's extremely proud of that, and we're extremely proud of Derek and the work that he's doing there. 2 balls, no strikes now to Blankenship. Runner on. There's a little bit of a slider that catches enough of the plate to get strike 1. 2 balls and a strike now. Being held on, Jones, by Caden Brown over at first for Arkadelphia. Inside, 3 balls and a strike now. Junior right fielder Porter is on deck, and then the pitcher Hilton is in the hole for Ashdown. From the stretch, here's the 3-1 pitch. Popped up on the infield, ranging to his left. It looks like, no, he's going to, Babb going to come in from center field. I had my eye on the shortstop, Witten. It looked like he was going to kind of float over there and catch it around the back of the dirt, and it just kept floating and floating and floating, and it looked like he lost it in the sun, but Babb had a beat on it, and he comes in for the second out. So here's Porter, the right fielder. Right-hander, he's going to hit it to the left side, over quickly across. 5-3 is the put-out, and that is a nice-looking play there by Houston Hooten. The sophomore third baseman puts out the cleanup spot there for Ashdown. So 5-3 go the Panthers here in the bottom of the first, and Arkadelphia wins the first inning 1-0. We'll be back here with Badger Baseball. You're listening on your Mascot Media app.
Everyone's known for something. Ours is simple. At the Southwest Auto Collection and iDriveSWA.com, you get the absolute lowest price on America's best brands: Ford, Lincoln, Chevy, GMC, Buick, and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. The best selection and the lowest prices guaranteed. And we deliver anywhere in the state, plus tires for life. It really is that simple. Visit us today, the Southwest Auto Collection, I-30 exit 78 in Arkadelphia, or online at iDriveSWA.com.
Second inning of action here from Ashdown. Hooten, Hill, and Kesterson due up for Arkadelphia. Profitable first inning for the Badgers as Babb is able to score on a RBI single from Trip Campbell. Arkadelphia able to come up and stop the Ashdown. Had 1 runner on as a result of a walk. Left him there. So here's Hooten to start things off for Arkadelphia. Ball and a strike to Houston Hooten. Sophomore playing third today. He's played some third. He's played some second. batting .250 on the season. And pitch is high for ball 2. And there's a dribbler that's going to be foul. Evens the count down 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Blake, I would have, if I was a betting man, I would have lost a lot of money saying that if I'd have bet that we were playing. I would have said that no way that we're going to play baseball tonight.
Fisted off to the left side, and a nice play there by the third baseman from Ashdown. Got up on the handle on Hooten, and he's just kind of dribbles it to the left side, and nice play over there by the third baseman, and that's Garrett. So 5-3 goes Houston Hooten. Zane Hill now the batter. Hill hitting .227 on the year. And there's a shot that's going to be a blooper up into the sun. The second baseman comes over and makes the play. Nice job of shielding the sun right in though. Just about everyone on the defensive side of the field today is going to have sun in their eyes until it drops down, because it's going to sit right behind the press box.
Yes, it looks like it's going to be a very similar layout to Arkadelphia's field, where the right side of the field is going to be battling that sun. Now we're in daylight saving time most of the game.
Kesterson now with 2 quick outs. He'll bat from the right side. Nice surprise as well as Daniel Kesterson. He's had a couple of really good games. He's batting over 300. And so the junior getting his first significant playing time this year is making good use of it. He's fielding perfectly out in left field, and he just sits there and watches. Strike 3, and that inside corner has been very popular with the home plate umpire. Arkadelphia not quite figuring it out yet, so Kesterson goes down looking, and it's a very quick and quiet top of the first for Arkadelphia. The score is Arkadelphia 1, Ashdown nothing. We'll go to the bottom of the second when we come back. You're listening to Arkadelphia Baseball on your Mascot Media app.
While you may not be a pediatric surgeon volunteering your topiary talents at a children's hospital, your life is just as unique. Your Raymond James financial advisor gets to know you, your passions, and the way you give back, so you can live your life. That's life well planned.
Everyone's known for something. Ours is simple. At the Southwest Auto Collection and iDriveSWA.com, you get the absolute lowest price on America's best brands: Ford, Lincoln, Chevy, GMC, Buick, and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. The best selection and the lowest prices guaranteed. And we deliver anywhere in the state, plus tires for life. It really is that simple. Visit us today, the Southwest Auto Collection, I-30 exit 78 in Arkadelphia, or online at iDriveSWA.com.
Trip Campbell back out on the mound for Arkadelphia, second inning of work. He cruised through the first inning, did walk a batter. That last game we talked about, the Magnolia game, a lot of strikeouts, Chris. I think 15 strikeouts. He's yet to get that K, but he's doing it another way today.
Yeah, 15 strikeouts. The one walk really kept Magnolia hitters off balance, had the fastball working and the breaking ball. Obviously the next outing is a new day, and obviously that's the situation here against an Ashdown team that has hit the ball well and has won some games.
And the first pitch to the opposing pitcher, Hilton, bounces off of, looked like the catcher.
I couldn't. We're blocked, so I really couldn't see, but I just know it bounced up.
It was awful close to being a strike, but call ball 1. High again, and a little bit of early control issue, I guess you'd say, for Campbell. Normally he's right spot on, but a little bit different today, a little cooler, a little bit of wind, a little bit of sun. And those things can make for a little getting used to here. 3-0 as the count to the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the second. And there's that strike on the inside part of the plate.
Yeah, those right-handed batters, that's about the fourth one we've had so far that have not liked the inside corner. Umpires giving it to both pitchers.
Yeah, and they're not even offering at it, so it's not really anything that they're seeing is even close. He comes back there with another strike, that one a little bit more over the heart of the plate. And so he draws the count full here to the 5-hole hitter for Ashdown. And he draws a walk, and Hill can't find the ball. It pops off the top of his mitt.
Well, that's a live ball. I mean, that's
a live ball.
That's a live ball. You can't ask the umpire for a new one. That's a live ball.
So a base on balls to start the second inning, and where they had a runner on with 1 out, now a runner with no outs, and the tall left-handed center fielder Walton, the batter. And he takes a ball to start the at-bat. Hilton only the second base runner in his many innings for Ashdown. He'll be held on over there by Caden Brown. Here's the 1-0. It's high. 2 balls and no strikes. So Tripp leaving a lot of pitches high here in the early going. We'll see if he's able to get down in the zone. And also not going to a lot of curves yet. He's really trying to establish that fastball early, and he gets a call there for strike 1. He threw a ton of off-speed pitches in that big win over Magnolia. Not going to the well there a lot in the early going here in Ashdown. There's one right back up the middle. He's going to turn and go to second for 1. Not in time at first. The relay from Cobb was a little bit late. A nice play there. You know, that's Chris, that is probably one of the hardest throws to make, is for a pitcher to field a ground ball, turn around, and throw to second base.
It is. He threw it on the money. I think Donovan and Ashton were communicating after that at whose bag. You know, you like Donovan to catch that because his momentum is going towards the bag, but just the timing of that one, Arkadelphia is just glad they got the one out as Ashton was covering the bag at second.
Yeah, and the ball got back to Tripp so fast he was able to corral it, make that quick turn, and neither of the infielders, the middle infielders, were really it caught them by surprise. It happened so fast, but they've got one, and so now an out on the board and a pop-up on the infield. That may be sun trouble. Brown can't find it. Going way out there is Tripp Campbell. You know, he was the only player that had the sun at his back at any point during that travel, and he took it all the way over to the foul territory, just not able to cover all that ground.
Yeah, you could tell off the bat, Brown and he communicated. He said, I don't have it. Tripp saw it. Maddox Finley ran, Tripp and Maddox probably both ran about 40 yards there to try to get that one. Ashton Cobb at second trying to get back there as well. But that high pop-up with the wind and the sun was going to be tough for Brown, as he just couldn't see that one off the bat. It's going to be hard to catch it after that ball's already started flying.
Now, if there's a no-man's land in baseball, ask the Razorbacks of a few years ago. It's right over there behind that, around that first base bullpen. There's a shot to third, over to second for 1. Now the relay is still not there, and Cobb's going to throw that one away. No advance on the runner, so it is another fielder's choice.
Yeah, and the batter made that turn to the runner after he crossed first base. He made that turn to the left, almost like a step and a half. So he had to hurry back to the bag. First base Coach Turner Pentecost catching him after. He said, "Make sure you're rounding that either straight or to the right."
So now 2 outs. Runner still at first, just changing batters. And there's a quick throw down by Hill, and it's almost in time. Getting a little bit lazy over there was Brown at first base. Not our Brown, but the other Brown, the one that just hit that ball to third, and it was on by fielder's choice.
Got a decent lead here. One more step, and Tripp might try to get a little pick off.
Tripp's definitely improved his move, but naturally for that left-hander, that first baseman, that first base runner better be careful, because he's looking dead red at him. when he comes set. And Altenbomber, the second baseman, is the batter now with 2 outs, and that runner that's changed hand 3 times now is still at first base. Arkadelphia doing a great job of keeping them out of scoring position. Had a couple of chances to turn the double play and no good so far. Strike 2.
Yeah, just froze him up, Altenbrenner up there. Altenbomber, he was just fooled by the pitch. He kind of hesitated a little bit, and that was right on the outside part of the plate.
This may be exactly what we need to see Tripp get going, warming up a little bit now. You can tell he's got that control that he's so used to having. That one just gets fouled down the third base line as Hooten is able to give it enough time to get foul. Hard throw across there to first base to make. And Altenbomber, the second baseman, a junior, he looks like he might have a little bit of speed in him. Be a hard play to make. Good call there by Houston. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 1 runner on. Arkadelphia with a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the second from Ashdown. 2-2 pitch is high. Ball 3, another full count. About as many full counts here in the early going as we saw all of last game from Tripp. We hate to keep going back to that, but so proud of that young man. He was able to, have a once-in-a-lifetime thing that hopefully not once in a lifetime, but there's a foul ball out of play and going to get quickly back into the stands.
Went with the breaking ball on that one. This wind it's just shifting. The flag is almost straight out, blowing from left field to right field now, out there in center field. A while ago, the flag was just, was limp, but that wind is shifting.
Man, close on the outside. Tripp wanted it. Did not get it, so now we've got a couple of runners on. And the third walk of the day by Arkadelphia pitching.
Yeah, he wanted that breaking ball. It was very similar to the one Hilton wanted earlier, just a little bit started it too far up, didn't break down enough. Wanted to get that call, at least an offer at the pitch on the with the full count.
Von Thomas now, he is the number 9 hitter in the Ashdown order, a senior, left fielder. He's got some wheels. We'll see if he can do anything now with the first runner in scoring position for Ashdown. And the ball gets away from the catcher, and both runners now will advance up. Now 2 runners in scoring position for Thomas. And that's really not what Arkadelphia wanted.
Yeah, now pass ball ties the game up. And a base hit most likely gives Ashdown the lead.
Back to the windup. Here goes Tripp Campbell. Swung on and fouled. Back way out in front of that is Thomas. Going to get a little bit of a short visit now, I think, from Hill. Just make sure they're both on the same page. Knowing that runner 90 feet away is the tying run.
We mentioned softball playing across the way. No score after 1 inning between Arkadelphia and Ashdown.
1-1. Kicks and deals. Strike 2. Back to the fastball goes Campbell. We'll see if he tries to cross things up right now and go back to that fastball, or if he's going to try to bury one in the dirt and get him to swing. He goes right at him, and he swings through it for strike 3. So Campbell has a couple of runners on by way of walk, and they're left stranded as the Arkadelphia defense is able to hold Ashdown to 0 on the board. So we'll go to the top of the third here in Ashdown. Arkadelphia leading after 2 complete, 1-0. You're listening to Arkadelphia Badger Baseball on ArkadelphiaBadgerTV.com.
Whether you realize it or not, you see the work of bats and signs all around Arkadelphia. When you see the Badger equipment trailer on the way to a Badger game, Bats and Signs did that. When you're watching the Badgers, Tigers, or Reddies and see the signage that just really makes their facilities pop, Bats and Signs did that too. You see the signage in downtown Arkadelphia, on the campuses of Ouachita and Henderson, or the sign in your neighbor's yard supporting a candidate or their favorite Badger? Yep, Bats and Sign did that too. Longtime residents and supporters of all things Arkadelphia called Mark, Jared, Chris, or Ryan at Bats and Signs today to see what they can do for you.
Leading off with Badgers, your 9-hole hitter, number 20, Ashdown.
So we're back here in Ashdown. Arkadelphia leading at 1-0. Cobb, the last batter in the lineup, and he'll see his first time up as we start things off in the third. Quickly a ground ball foul right over to Coach Roop in the first base box. Cobb, the junior, starting at second base today.
Fouled that one off of his foot.
So Cobb starts the at-bat with a couple of aggressive swings, but fouls them both off. Arkadelphia in their red tops, gray bottoms. Got the white panel across the front with Badgers. And kind of a half-hearted swing there. He wasn't really expecting to need to swing there. I think he probably needed to swing at that one as much or more than he did the other two. So he goes down swinging here to start the third. And Carter Babb, who drew a leadoff walk, will get his second time up today. Quickly working once again is the pitcher. And Derek Hilton is working very quickly with no runners on. He comes very diligently and not a lot of time for the Arkadelphia hitters to get ready. Ball and strike to Carter. Foul back on a off-speed pitch that got a little bit too much on the hands for him. Hilton comes set quickly. Here's the 1-2. It's hit right back up to him, and he makes the times his jump just right and is able to make the put-out over at first base. So two gone quickly, very quickly here in the third inning. And KD now, as he struck out looking back in the first inning, with two outs quickly here in the top of the third, he'll get his second at-bat of the day. Ooh, and that ball looked like it was really above the waist, but a strike call to start it out. Inside pitch, that might have been a strike in the first couple of innings.
He's given that outside corner on the outside part of the plate on the fastball, not a ton on that breaking ball from the right-handed pitcher.
And there's a base hit. That was going to find a hole out into shallow right field. So a two-out single blooper there for KD Young.
Well, and you saw, I think the wind kind of killed that one. As soon as that came off the bat, we've seen KD go right center field gap several times over the last couple of years. That one off the bat, thought I had a chance. Now the wind, and plus that outfield is wet, so you're not going to get much a run after the ball lands today.
Campbell is 1 for 1. That one's going to hit off of the plate, I think. Or
I think it went off of his foot.
Something off his foot. Either way, it was immediately called dead.
Middle of the second in the softball game, Arkadelphia stranded one on in the top of the second, still no score, headed to the Ashdown bottom of the second.
There's one that may get down. It's going to have a long way to travel, but quickly in is the left fielder, and Von Derek Thomas is able to come in and get a good jump on that one and send the Badgers packing here in the top of the third. 1-0 is our score, as Ashdown will get their third time trips to the plate here in the bottom of the third. We're going to take a break here and be back to Ashdown. You're listening to Badger Baseball on Mascot Media.
Hello, I'm Taylor King. I've been practicing law for over 34 years, but long before that, I learned what it takes to be a good lawyer, caring for others. You could say it's a family trait, and it's one I've passed along to my kids. If you've been involved in an accident, call 1-800-CAR-WRECK. I want to help.
We want to help, to be on your side, by your side. I'm Austin King. Now, I've not been practicing law quite as long as my dad, but thanks to him, I know what it takes to be a good lawyer. I guess you could say it runs in the family.
We go to the bottom of the third. Arkadelphia clinging to a 1-0 lead, and scoring a lot of runs is not something the Badgers have gotten used to yet in conference play.
Almost any game except for
any game.
except for the Stuttgart to open the season, and then the game against Gurdon. Arkadelphia scored 9 against Stuttgart, 15 against Gurdon. But other than that, it's been 2 against Bismarck, 2 against Genoa, 1 against Magnolia, 4 against DeQueen, 2 against Malvern. Just have not hit the ball. Now, you and I talking between in the break. Today's outs have been good contact, decent contact. At least you're putting the ball in play, but seen a lot of strikeouts in the first few weeks. But you got to figure that if the hitting comes around, it can be fun. But you just got to stay with it, and maybe you can string one together today, take a little break for spring break, and come back with some hot bats after after next week.
That would definitely be nice. Back around for the second time is the top of the Panther lineup. Taking strike one is Garrett, the third baseman. He grounded the ball to first base. Caden Brown was able to make the play unassisted, so back up for his second at bat, and he squares to bunt. He lays one down. It's going to look really good if it'll stay fair for him, but it does not. It goes foul. Arkadelphia catches a break there.
They caught a break because of the spin of that ball. That was a tremendous bunt, but it was just, it's coming in from the lefty, so if you're going to bunt it to the left, up to the left of the third baseline, it's going to have the spin going towards that line, and that's what helped Arkadelphia there. That would have been a leadoff bunt hit, base for a hit off of a bunt. That came out smooth, didn't it?
We knew what you were saying.
Yep.
And there's another one he gets around on a little bit too out in front on that one. So 0-2 now, and Tripp ahead of the hitter. Garrett's going to get he's going to make a lot of contact, had a lot of contact in his first at bat. Good contact hitter. Here's the 0-2. And it's stabbed at and hit back off of the catcher's mitt and goes back to the backstop.
That one got away from him a little bit. The 0-2 tried to get him fishing. Arkadelphia probably thankful that he didn't swing at that when you ended up having a runner at first base.
Yeah. So here's the 1-2. And he buries that one just a bit too low and maybe inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ashdown always going to have good leadoff hitters. They're going to be good contact hitters. They always are. And there's a shot out into left center field, and Babb's going to make his way under it, and he ranges up and to his right to make the first put out of the inning.
Got down in the count 0-2, battled back to 2-2, and then Tripp did a nice job of pitching to contact, got the fly ball into lazy fly ball into left center field. They used to have the distances on this fence. They're not there anymore, but there just seems to be an awful lot of space behind those outfielders today.
Yeah, a lot. And you can see through. It's not a completely transparent fence, but you can see through it. It's a meshed fence that you can see through, and anytime you can see through the fence, it tends to look deeper than it really is. Walt Jones now, he was the first base runner for Ashdown back in the bottom of the first. He drew a walk in the first inning. Even in the count now, ball and a strike. Right back to Tripp. Nice ground ball as Brown is not able to dig it out, and that looked like almost a transfer, but I guess Brown just never really got it secure.
Tripp had plenty of time, and just as soon as that ball came, Coach Lowe's going to ask if it was on the transfer. He's going to ask for time and ask the umpire. Tripp knew as soon as he threw that ball that it was low, and that he was putting his hands on top of his head as soon as he let that one go.
Yeah, that's going to be an E1 most likely. Tripp knew it. He patted himself. He knew he had a little bit too long and got back on him real quick, like that ball that turned to second base he made a while ago, and he just short-armed it a little bit.
Number 21, Blankenship.
Caden Brown did everything he could to hold on to it.
He tried.
And when he pulled his arm away, the ball came with it, and So we've got a runner now at first by way of the first error of the ball game. Blankenship, the catcher, flew out to Babb back in the first inning. He fouls this one back up and out of play off to the right side. So Jones is on for his second time. He's on by way of walk and now an error. Sorry, I'm my nervous energy has me clicking my pen, and I know that everyone is wondering, is that a horse that's going down the street?
It's just Morse code.
Morse code.
We got one broadcast going over the internet and one going over Morse code.
Wow, nice pitch. That one got started on the outside away from the right-handed hitter and come right back over the heart of the plate. And by the time he knew it was there, it was too late to swing. 0-2 now on the catcher, on the Ashdown catcher. High, ball one, ball and 2 strikes. Still way ahead in the count. Houston Hooten going to get a little bit of – he sees something out there that he wants to –
We've only got a couple of batters left, Blake, that'll be that won't be bothered by the shadows. And once those shadows get there between the mound and the plate, they're going to be there for most of the game.
And there's a ball that's going to be hit in the gap. Nobody will get to that one. It's in left center field. One run is going to come around to score, and into second base with his first base hit, with really the first base hit of the game for Ashdown, and it is a RBI double. And a patient at bat there, and he –
yeah, those errors come back to get you, Blake.
Yep,
those errors come back to get you, and it should just, should have a runner on second right now, but that error allowed the runner to stay at first, and he could read that one off the bat that was in the gap.
So the score tied now, 1 out here in the top of the fourth inning. No, excuse me, bottom of the third.
Yep.
And the right fielder, Porter, is up. Grounded into a 5-3 fielder's choice. Or no, excuse me, it was a grounded to third. Just a single put out.
Good breaking ball there from Campbell to start off that at bat. It's the second straight batter that he's started off with a taken called strike on the breaking ball.
Here's the 0-1. Popped up on the left side. We'll see if Hooten has room. He's going to range over all the way to the fence, and it's about a row deep, about 2 rows deep, and about a row outside the reach of Houston Hooten.
Yeah, good job tracking that one all the way to the fence. He gets a pat on the shoulder from Austin Cross, who was a pitcher at Henderson State under Coach Cody Hooten. So Houston and Austin have spent a lot of days together in Arkadelphia at the Clydeberry Field and in practices and on trips, but Houston did a nice job of tracking that one all the way to the fence.
Here's the 0-2 now to Porter. Just a bit up and out of the zone. Tripp not one to burn a lot of free pitches. He definitely had one there at 0-2, but that one not far from the zone. There's one that just gets away from him. He spins on the mound around and knows that he just either lost his footing or lost his grip on that one, and it sails high for ball 2. Runner at second base, and still only 1 out, so still a lot of work to be done. There's a pop-up in shallow center field. Babb zeroing in. He's going to make a long run, and he can't get to it.
That ball ended up right behind the bag at second base.
Yeah, I'm not real sure. I know our infielders are having a hard time picking it up, but Babb had to come all the way nearly to the dirt, and it's spongy out there, you can tell, because when he hit that ball just stuck. And so they did get some rain, not enough to call the game, but there it is, a little damp out there, and that's a long run for Babb to have to make. And our infielders are going to have to try to get a hold of this ball going to have to try to pick it up. They're giving up on it real early. and that wind is pushing it right back into him. It's making a long run for.
He called a strike on that? Yeah. Wait, well, the ball, the umpire made a weird look, but I think it was ball one. Hit and run on from Hilton. He tried to get something going for Ashdown. Yeah, I thought Babb was camped out under it, and then he started running, and then he started running even more, and that was then after he landed, he slid. That was a long run.
Yeah, a lot of sun trouble for the infielders, but that's just a little bit too far of a run. 2 balls and a strike now to the pitcher Hilton. He drew a walk to lead off the second inning. Was stranded there. Off and running. There is a throw down to third base. The steal was on to second, and Hill throws the ball to third, and no one's at the bag, so Hooten had no idea that he was going to throw the ball to third base. A lack of communication. It scores another run. And so now
2 outs. Yeah.
Yep. So now 2 outs in the inning and another run across. 2-1 Ashdown and another runner in scoring position.
24, Brayden Walton in the box.
Walton grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up back in the second inning. And he's getting another at bat here in the third. Strike one.
He's got a different strike call for he'd been pointing to the right. That's why he pointed that one to the left. So that's why I thought earlier it was a strike. I'm not sure.
Well, he's got the scoreboard operator a little confused as well. He had 2-0, and now it's 1-1. And there's a shot into shallow center coming in. Now backing up is Kesterson. He'll make the third out. And that ball is playing tricks on these outfielders. It's getting up there. And, on our trip down on the interstate today, Chris and I came down, and in certain parts of that interstate, there'd be a gust of wind blow across just as about a 25-mile-per-hour gust and really cause havoc on a vehicle. You can imagine what it's going to do for a baseball. But couple of runs across here in the bottom of the third, and Ashdown has taken the lead for the first time today. We're going to be back here for the top of the fourth from Ashdown. You're listening to Badger Baseball on your Mascot Media app.
Make Print Mania in downtown Arkadelphia your place to get embroidery, screen printing, trophies, and more. Drop by their store on Main Street in downtown Arkadelphia or visit their website at printmaniatees.com to see how they can help your business or group. Need a shirt for an event? Let Print Mania take care of that. Need promotional materials for your business or organization? You can let Print Mania take care of that too. A family-run local business in Arkadelphia, Print Mania has been serving the public since 1992. Call Print Mania today, 870-246-3803.
Back quickly here for the top of the fourth. Caden Brown leading things off for Arkadelphia. He stands in and watches strike one. We have seen a very quick work on the mound by Hilton, the pitcher for Ashdown, and he's working quickly again, and quickly 0-2 the count to the Arkadelphia first baseman. Brown's going to be just a little behind that one as it goes over into the batting cages off the right side of in foul territory. Witten on deck for Arkadelphia. And Brown able to stay alive just under that fastball. The 0-2 from Hilton. This time he gets way out in front as he drives this one just past the Ashdown dugout on the third base side.
He did a good job. An 0-2 count. You can't just let one by, and he stayed with that breaking ball as it broke right in front of his eyes.
Yeah, Hilton's going right at him. He's not going to burn a lot of pitches. Might have burned one on the outside trying to get him to fish. 1 and 2, though, still way ahead is Hilton. Here's a 1-2. And it's fouled back again. So Brown getting a lot of good hacks at it. We'll see if he can square it up. He's been behind, he's been out in front, and that one just a little bit off as he brings that one back to the net behind him. We'll see if he can get this timing right here. And still a little bit out in front of the changeup as Hilton took just a little bit off. Brown was able to stay back just enough to get a piece of it. Brand new inning here in the fourth. Arkadelphia trailing 2-1. There's a base hit. That's what you do. You fight off several pitches and you put one into left field. And he's going to try to motor into second base. And he's got the wheels to get under it. And he is safe. Nice hustle play right there, Chris. That was all Caden Brown right there.
Yeah, Caden Brown, as soon as he got to first base, Coach Roop and he looked and he decided immediately. He didn't take a couple of hesitation. He decided immediately when he hit that bag he was going for 2, and the left fielder was just a little bit lax in getting it back in the infield.
Nice hustle play there by the Arkadelphia junior. And here is an Arkadelphia senior ready to get Arkadelphia back on the scoreboard again here. Donovan Witten takes ball 1 high. Brown still shaking the damp dirt out of his. That was a ball inside he could not have hit. Ball and a strike now. Away from second is Brown. And again, fouling it back. Arkadelphia putting the bat on the ball, able to stay alive with some foul balls. Like to see them string together a couple of base hits here. Here's the 1-2. Good lead is Brown from second. And he got him looking. So he got that outside corner with the breaking pitch and froze Witten for the first out. So Hooten now grounded to third, his first time up, back in the second inning. And that's going to be hit into left field. It's going to stay up just enough for the left fielder, Thomas, to get over there under it. And now there's 2 outs, and that runner's still stranded at second base. Caden Brown, who got on base with a leadoff double.
Stepped that left foot out, and instead of going with it, he opened up. He's got a little open stance anyway, and he stepped towards third base, and it just completely took that outside part of the plate away.
Brown is going to steal third. The throw was there in time and got away from the third baseman. So the
umpire called him out. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Whoa! What are we doing here?
Out.
No. No.
No, this no.
Yeah, Coach Lowe's.
He just lost his vision.
He just missed it.
He missed it. The ball came out.
Yeah, he's going to ask the home plate umpire, and we can turn the music off because we're going to end up coming back out to. Yeah,
the ball came out. It clearly rolled behind the third baseman.
I think Ashdown knew the players ran off. The players ran off the field like he just called him out. Let's get in the dugout.
Yeah, this is not football, and you don't. This is not professional football, and you can't snap the ball to keep from having a replay. That didn't require a replay. It was just a miss.
Now, all that to be said, it's 0-2, and Hilton has had control at this at bat. And so a big spot for Zane Hill. If he can put one into play, you would imagine Hilton's not going to try to get, risky here and risk a wild pitch or a pass ball.
Well, the Badgers came up the first run of the game on an error at first, on a ball hit right back to Trip Campbell. Now there's one. We'll see if they'll replay the favor, and almost that one got in the dirt. He short-armed it as well, but his first baseman able to dig it out, and so the Badgers will strand one, and that was that leadoff, very promising double from Caden Brown that goes for naught. And so Arkadelphia has been up 4 times. Trail it 2-1 here from Ashdown. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
While you may not be a pediatric surgeon volunteering your topiary talents at a children's hospital, your life is just as unique. Your Raymond James financial advisor gets to know you, your passions, and the way you give back, so you can live your life. That's life well planned.
Everyone's known for something. Ours is simple. At the Southwest Auto Collection and iDriveSWA.com, you get the absolute lowest price on America's best brands: Ford, Lincoln, Chevy, GMC, Buick, and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. The best selection and the lowest prices guaranteed. And we deliver anywhere in the state, plus tires for life. It really is that simple. Visit us today, the Southwest Auto Collection, I-30 exit 78 in Arkadelphia, or online at iDriveSWA.com.
Welcome back to Ashdown, the day before spring break. Everybody's been waiting on this day for a long time, I know. The last big break really before the end of the semester.
Yeah, there's that month of April's a rough one.
Yeah, April and May
on
both.
our calendar.
Yep, they're pretty consistent. So not only are we looking forward to a good break from school, but we'll have a break from baseball next week as well. The Badgers are going to be off all week next week. No tournament action, obviously no conference play, but no tournament action as well. So Arkadelphia going to get to iron out a few of their wrinkles and hopefully get some good needed rest and be able to go fishing or do whatever those guys do during their time off.
Go to the cage. Ashdown in softball, Ashdown up 3-0 in the middle of the third. Some base hits and just a good base hit by Ashdown have given the Lady Panthers a 3-0 lead in the softball game.
Trip Campbell trips one right about 4 inches in front of the plate that time. And the batter is Brown, the junior first baseman. He had a ground ball, and he'll ground it this time back to third. This time it gets through for a leadoff single right under the glove of Houston Hooten. He went to his left and wasn't able to come up with it. So a single to left starts things off here in the bottom of the fourth. Altenbaumer, the second baseman, he drew a walk back in the second inning. High outside, ball one. So Ashdown has had a base runner on every inning. And again, pick it up. Ball's going to get foul, bunted down the left side, and well, you just never know between the wind and the soggy field and what kind of English it might have coming off that bat as a bunt. When that thing gets foul, pick it up. Don't let it go another rotation because it might just go back the other direction. Ball in the strike now to Altenbaumer. And there's a nice fastball that gobbles up most of the plate, and Altenbaumer goes behind 1-2. Brown leads things off here in the bottom of the fourth with a single to left. He's at first with nobody out. Altenbaumer fouls it back, stays alive. ought to have some fairly healthy arms in the Arkadelphia rotation. Babb hadn't pitched in a few days. He should be available. There's a ball that gets away from Hill, dribbles up in front of the plate, and the runner goes into second now with no outs. The steal was on, and Hill kind of short-gloved it a little bit and trying to anticipate the throw, and he let it get away from him. Runner in scoring position again, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the ball again gets away from Hill. He's going to throw down to third, and he's going to sail it into left field. So now there's a run across. And a throwing error on the catcher is the 3rd run of the game for Ashdown. And Lowe is going to come out, and not real sure if this is going to be a visit more for Trip Campbell or for Zane Hill, because Hill's not having a great game behind the plate. So we'll see. The entire infield is in, and I think more than anything, it's certainly not going to be a hook for Campbell. He's not had that much trouble.
No.
It's just some things are not clicking between he and Hill right now, and Hill and the third baseman not really on the same page. So yeah, that was not a good throw out there by Hill. He had time to get the runner. The ball got back to him fairly easily. He just sailed it. He overthrew it and threw it way outside the foul line into left field, and Kesterson not able to come up with it in near time enough to get the play. And so there's a walk. Obviously, it's kind of gotten into the
danger zone,
the kitchen of Campbell now. He's going to take the hat off and
this inning's kind of gotten into the danger zone. You got to get an out here. You can't allow big innings from the opponent, especially when your team from 1 through 9 just hasn't been hitting the ball great.
And here's Thomas. He's going to have a stab at a bunt, and it's going to get back to the screen. So Derek Thomas.
And he doesn't have to bunt. The runner got to second, so he can take that bunt off and try to get him home the old-fashioned way.
Altenbaumer is at second. He drew his second walk of the game in as many at-bats. Thomas struck out swinging. And here's another one that gets down in the dirt, and this one's going to get back far enough away from Hill to get another runner over to third base now, and looks like we're going to have some
movement headed to the bullpen.
Arkadelphia starting to get some action in their bullpen. Big swing and a miss. Ball and 2 strikes now. Foul tip on the bunt, and a big swinging cut there has got Thomas behind in the count, 1-2. Altenbaumer, the runner at third. 3-1 the score now. Another run across here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Or excuse me, bottom of the 4th. Three balls and 2 strikes now. Thomas has worked the count full. And here's the 3-2 from the windup. It's low, ball 4. And Lowe is up again, and he's going to make the trip. And this will be all for Campbell. We'll see what direction he goes. He went to the bullpen, so it may be someone off the Arkadelphia bench that comes in.
It looked like it's going to be Donovan Whitten.
Yep.
So Campbell will go to center. Finley will go to short. Babb will move over to right.
And so while we've got a minute, we'll keep it right here. Chris, we talked about Tripp having such a great outing his last time. He comes out today. He doesn't pitch a terrible 4 innings. He just had some things that really he didn't have a lot of control over. A couple of balls that fell, maybe because of the wind, maybe because of the sun. A couple of bad throws, a couple of pass balls. Just some bad luck.
Yeah, bad luck, and obviously it's going to be tough to follow up an outing like you have the one he had against Magnolia with the same type of control. He did a nice job fighting through it, and really, that one run should be what it is. Should be 1-1, 2-1 right now. Instead, it's 3-1, and you don't have an out, and you got to try to go to the pin.
You can look across all of baseball. You can look across Major League Baseball, college baseball, all the way down to the Little League. And one of the most temperamental, I guess, positions on the field is always going to be the pitcher because there's so many things that go into it. A lot of it's mental. Obviously, trying to follow up a game like he had last week is impossible to do. You've got to put that past you. And then you've got, some elements. You've got some wind. You've got some sun that's right in your face. The batters obviously are going to have an advantage today with the shadows over the plate but not over the mound. And then you've just got some bad luck throws. You got some things behind you that, one of the things that is hard for, a pitcher to do is go out and work and then have something that's just an unforced error.
Yep.
And so we'll see if Witten can come in. Witten not really labeled as a starter this year. He hadn't gotten any starts, but he's pitched in most games that there was some, I guess, question as to whether or not we could win. A couple of blowout wins. I don't think we had – he probably didn't see the mound in those, but those other games, Witten's been pretty much a common fixture here.
Softball update, 4-0 Ashdown after 4 innings. Arkadelphia getting runners on, just can't get them across, and that's the situation on the other side of the city park.
So Leland Garrett will see his third at bat of the day with nobody out and runners at the corners for Ashdown. And
you got to wonder if they're going to send the runner on this first pitch.
Well, and I would imagine so. We know, and they do, in fact, and no throw from Hill. We've seen Thomas out in left field make some pretty good plays out there and get some really good jumps. We know he's got some speed, and he shows it there. Now 2 runners in scoring position and 1-0 the count.
Unbelievable.
And there is there's just a dribbler to the left side of the mound, and luckily
when it's going your way, it's going your way.
Yeah, luckily
man.
we got an out there, which really the only play that Witten had was to first base. So they've got the put out at first base, 1-3, but another run comes across, and now another runner is 90 feet away at third base, and that's Thomas.
That's a good play by – sorry, Blake. Good play by Witten. Good stretch by Brown, and Brown came quickly home, but once he had the throw across, it was such a long way that it was going to give the runner plenty of time to be able to make it home after he read that throw across the diamond from Donovan.
Yeah, Garrett's – their leadoff man is 0 for 3, but now he's got an RBI, and Jones now, the second batter in the lineup, has been on both times he's been up with a walk and an error. 1-1 to count now. Walt Jones, who just a sophomore, shortstop. Don't see a lot of shortstops starting in 4A baseball that are sophomores. Cross has got a good one in him. And there's one that's going to be hit right to the shortstop. Up with it and across.
Speaking of young shortstops.
Yeah.
It's a good play in the field by Finley, Maddox Finley, the freshman. And that was a good job by Jones of doing what he needed to do. Got to put the ball in play to get the run home and manufacture a run right there, make it 5-1 Ashdown.
Yeah, Finley, we've seen him play in left. We've seen him play short. We've seen him pitch. We've seen him hit. He's just kind of the all-tool player for a high school player, and getting to show a lot of it off here as a young freshman. 1 ball and no strikes to Blankenship. Junior catcher. He's flown out to center and has an RBI double. Started the scoring back in the 3rd inning for Ashdown. No chance for an RBI here unless he hits it over the fence.
He'd take that.
And not much of a chance of that happening as the wind is now starting to pick up and blowing in toward almost directly into the batter. A little bit out maybe in from left to right field.
Yeah, it's a weird wind. The flag is hanging down 1 second, then it'll be straight out. And looking at the trees, you see some, but it must be a high wind, high above the trees, or it's just a strange wind today.
What do they call it, March winds? Well, here's a March pop-up to the second baseman for the 3rd out of the inning, and Arkadelphia gives up 3 more, goes behind now 5-1 as we're all the way through the 4th inning. We're over halfway through, folks. Arkadelphia trailing 5-1 from Ashdown. We'll be back. You're listening to Badger Baseball on Mascot Media.
Whether you realize it or not, you see the work of bats and signs all around Arkadelphia. When you see the Badger equipment trailer on the way to a Badger game, bats and signs did that. When you're watching the Badgers, Tigers, or Reddies and see the signage that just really makes their facilities pop, bats and signs did that too. You see the signage in downtown Arkadelphia, on the campuses of Ouachita and Henderson, or the sign in your neighbor's yard supporting a candidate or their favorite Badger? Yep, bats and sign did that too. Longtime residents and supporters of all things Arkadelphia called Mark, Jared, Chris, or Ryan at Bats and Signs today to see what they can do for you.
Back to Ashdown, top of the 5th inning. Arkadelphia gave up 2 in the 3rd, 3 more in the 4th, and they trail at 5-1. The only run coming across early in the ball game back in the top of the 1st for Arkadelphia, and not able to put a whole lot of not able to put a lot on the bases. Kesterson will lead things off here. Cobb and Babb will be up as well here in the top of the 5th. Ashdown leading the conference, tied with Nashville at 2-0. Arkadelphia nipping on their heels at 2-1. And a big game here for Arkadelphia. They really, really need this one as they head into the long spring break week.
Yeah, 2 hits for Arkadelphia. Single from actually 3 hits. You had the RBI single from Campbell in the 1st. Katie Young had 1. And that, oh my goodness gracious, it went off that nicely hit ball from Daniel Kesterson, and he's going to call him out.
Close.
That went off of the hip. That was a hard hit ball up the middle, off of the hip of Hilton, the pitcher, who was finishing his follow-through right to Jones at shortstop.
Yeah, and still almost should have beat it out.
Yeah, that was really close. Good job by Kesterson of getting down the line, but man, when it's bouncing your way, it's bouncing your way, and it has bounced Ashdown's way today.
Absolutely. Ashton Cobb up now. He struck out swinging back in the 3rd. He'll dribble this one to short and quickly across. Man, that sophomore shortstop has got a missile.
He's got a quick,
there.
really, really quick delivery, release when he fields that ground ball. Notice that during pregame warm-ups. He's got a really quick release when he fields that ball.
So a couple of quick outs here in the inning, both to the shortstop. And here's one that's going to be hit right at the first baseman. And I'll tell you what, when it's going,
hit the ball right at him.
When you're putting the bat on the ball and you're hitting it right to the opposing players, and not only the opposing players but the best ones on the field, it looks like. And that shortstop for Jones, man, he's the real deal at shortstop there. He's going to be a fixture here in Ashdown for 2 more years after this one. Arkadelphia goes quickly here in the 5th. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Badger Baseball on Mascot Media.
Hello, I'm Taylor King. I've been practicing law for over 34 years, but long before that, I learned what it takes to be a good lawyer. Caring for others. You could say it's a family trait, and it's one I've passed along to my kids. If you've been involved in an accident, call 1-800-CAR-WRECK. I want to help.
We want to help, to be on your side, by your side. I'm Austin King. Now, I've not been practicing law quite as long as my dad, but thanks to him, I know what it takes to be a good lawyer. I guess you could say it runs in the family.
Witten back out for his second inning of relief work. Came in last inning for Trip Campbell in relief effort. Blankenship, Porter, and Hilton will be the three batters in the 3, 4, and 5 spot. And there's been a lot of, at least Blankenship, he started things off with an RBI double.
Blake, you look at those last couple of innings for Arkadelphia. Ground ball outs, quick at bats. Hilton works quickly, but he has also gotten Arkadelphia, which you kind of like them being aggressive early in the count, you know, because we've seen many times this year when they've been patient and taken too many. But, man, they're going right to him. And Hilton, I bet his pitch count through 5 innings? Is probably the last 2 innings, I bet he's thrown 10 or 12 pitches total.
I don't think he threw that many in the last inning. Big swing there, and that's Hilton. I apologize. Blankenship, or excuse me, this is Porter. Blankenship was the last out of the 4th inning. So this is Porter, the right fielder. He singled to center back in the 3rd when they started their rally. Here's a shot out to left field. It's going to be long and over the head of anybody. It's about a foot from being out of the park. Babb's going to come in and catch it off the rebound. And Campbell, that thing almost got out of here. And
I did not think we were going to see one that deep.
I didn't either. And the wind is dead still out there right now. So, wow, nice hit there, double for Porter to get things started. And now Hilton, who's struck out and walked.
Blake, that you mentioned it. That hit about 8 to 10 inches.
Yeah, that wasn't far.
Top of the fence.
That wasn't far. That thing just kept going and kept going. Kesterson turned and knew that he was nowhere close. This one is just a seeing eye ground ball between 3rd and short, and it's going to score a run on an RBI single.
It's just putting the ball in play.
Yeah,
Blake. It's the name of the game. It's just when you're confident as a team, it spreads. We've seen it in 2 games so far for Arkadelphia. Unfortunately for the other ones, it has just not been a confident team at the plate, you know, and that's just what you're dealing with. And Ashdown is confident at the plate, and when you have a 5-run lead, you can kind of swing a little bit freer, and you don't try to press as much. And that's what Arkadelphia is doing at the plate too.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And Hilton, the pitcher, is replaced by Horn. He'll courtesy run over at first base. Hilton just helping his cause there with an RBI in the 6th run of the game across for Ashdown. Nobody out and a run across already and one on for Ashdown, and they just keep manufacturing runs, stringing hits together, and that's something that the Badgers have just not been able to do. Foul back to the screen. Center fielder Walton from the left side. He's and a very quick move over there to the young runner. I assume probably a young runner off the bench for Ashdown. Courtesy running for the pitcher, Hilton. Pretty close play over there as he slides in head first. 0-1 to Walton. There's a ball that's going to be hit foul. Well hit. Babb has moved over to right field, and he's lucky he didn't have to try to get to that. Was hit on a rope, but just foul enough to get over the fence and out of play. Not a lot of foul territory. It tapers off to only about 10 foot at the foul pole, and so not a lot of foul territory to work with in the corners. 0-2. Pitch outside. Runner with a big lead goes back in. Caden Brown is holding him on over there. Boy, this would be a really good time for a double play. Just a piece of it. And Walton stays alive.
Got a piece of the ball. Either got a piece of Zane Hill or the umpire, I believe as well. Maybe I missaw that, but good breaking ball.
From the stretch. Quick pitch bounces off the top of the glove of Zane Hill, and the runner is into second base. And a number of those today. Have gotten runners into scoring position for Ashdown. And another with nobody out, just on a grazing off the top of the glove. Here's the 2-2. And swinging through it is Walton. So the first strikeout of the day for Donovan Witten comes with a runner in scoring position and the first out of the bottom of the fifth. First baseman Brown is your batter now. Junior. He's got a single. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. Squares to bunt, pulls it back, takes strike one.
Good breaking ball from Donovan. Started out over the middle end of that plate, just broke over and, try to bunt that breaking ball. Yeah. You never know what happens. It's just a good pitch to start out.
Good decision by the batter. Good pitch by the pitcher. A little bit of cat and mouse now going on between the two. Longer stare in than normal for Witten. He comes set. Nice pitch. That one started out at the batter a little bit, bent back over into the strike zone. So 0-2 now. And Witten starting to find his groove a little bit with good control on the mound. After 2 innings of no score out of good defense and pitching from Arkadelphia, they've allowed runners in the runs to score in the last 3 innings. This included 1 run already across here in the bottom of the 5th and a runner at second base, only 1 out. 0-2 the count to the junior first baseman Brown. So we've got a couple of junior first baseman Browns playing today. Caden for Arkadelphia. And there's a ball that's going to be short into left field. Coming in is Kesterson. He'll make the play. Nice jump on the ball. He comes into the shadows and makes the catch for the second out.
Right off the bat, the way this game is going, you're like, what's going to happen now? But Daniel had a really good jump off the bat. He read that one nicely. And, of course, now I don't see – obviously the flag is not moving, but I don't even see the tops of the trees moving much now. So a little bit calmer in that outfield. DK got a great read off of that one.
Starting to calm down a little bit here as we get into the early evening hours from Ashdown. And there's one that's going to be hit deep. This one's going to send him back. He goes back and is not able to make the catch. It goes right off the end of his glove. And another error in the outfield. Another error in the game. This time he just got a little bit stretched out, and I can't help but think, not to make excuses for him, but I can't help but think it's a little squishy out there, and once your feet get set, it's hard to get them going again.
Yeah, did a nice job of dropping that left foot and running back and getting under it in position to make the play. Just went off the tip of his glove.
So Alton Balmer, after a couple of walks, is able to reach now on a 2-base error on the left fielder Kesterson, and Thomas the batter for his 3rd time of the day He struck out and walked. 2 outs now. 2 more across. It's 7-1, and Arkadelphia creating quite a mountain to climb up here with only a couple of more at bats. One 0 the count to Thomas. High. Bounces out of the catcher's glove right on the top of the helmet of Thomas. Altenbaumer over at second base has been around the bases 3 times now for two and a half times now for Ashdown.
Big lead at second.
Big lead. Coming over to show a little interest is Cobb at second base, and there's an inside pitch that's really hard to hit, but he gets the call. 2 balls and a strike now to the 9-hole hitter Thomas, Von Thomas.
That's a big lead. He's going to give him a couple more. He'll get a couple more steps.
And strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 across in the inning, 2 outs, and a runner at second. And it's the second baseman, Altenbaumer. We'll see if Witten can get the K here. It's low.
Good block by Zane. Tried to get him to go after that curveball. Just a little bit too low, and so now full count.
And Panthers will be back up to the top of their lineup for the 4th time in the game if Thomas is able to reach. This may be Witten's to finish here. We'll see. Three balls and 2 strikes. Strike 3 looking, and the second strikeout for Thomas, and it is the 3rd out of the inning for Arkadelphia, but another crooked number across for the inning for the Panthers, and they lead things 7-1 here as we go into the top of the 6th from Ashdown. Heading into spring break, 2 more innings to go. We'll see if Arkadelphia can get back in it. You're listening to Badger Baseball on Mascot Media.
Make Print Mania in downtown Arkadelphia your place to get embroidery, screen printing, trophies, and more. Drop by their store on Main Street in downtown Arkadelphia or visit their website at printmaniatees.com to see how they can help your business or group. Need a shirt for an event? Let Print Mania take care of that. Need promotional materials for your business or organization? You can let Print Mania take care of that too. A family-run local business in Arkadelphia, Print Mania has been serving the public since 1992. Call Print Mania today, 870-246-3803.
Back to Ashdown, and we are in the twilight hours of this 3rd week of March, heading into spring break, and we're into the twilight innings of this conference baseball game, and so far it's been all Ashdown here, 7-1. Caden Young will start things off here in the top of the 6th for Arkadelphia. KD singled to right and struck out looking. He's 1 for 2. Pop up on the infield. We'll see if it's going to stay playable, and it is for the 3rd baseman. And 1 quickly down as Garrett is able to haul it in for the 1st out. Tripp started the game with the first RBI and the only Arkadelphia run off the bat of Campbell that scored Carter Babb. It's all the damage Arkadelphia has been able to muster up today. There's a ground ball right at the 3rd baseman. He bobbles, comes up across the diamond, and it's quickly the 2nd out. And Chris, you said that
they just hit the ball right on the button, right at him.
Man, Hilton has been cruising with some not only with good defensive play and good pitching, but very efficient. Arkadelphia swinging early in the count, and just not a good day. Here's Brown. He doubled to left. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Brown having a good year at the plate. There's a shot that's gobbled up over there by the third baseman. And again, so the third baseman puts Arkadelphia away. 5 unassisted, 5-3, 5-3. And just like that, the Badgers go down to their last at bat, and that will be here in just a few minutes. We'll keep it here. It's not going to take long. Ashdown working very quickly, not only on the field but between innings, as if they've got somewhere better to be.
They're ready to start spring break. I think both these teams are probably ready to start it, just for different reasons.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be a long one for the Badgers if they can not get a hold of these bats here in the top of the 7th, because that's all they've got left, and they've got the 1-2-3 hitters up for Ashdown here in the bottom of the 6th. That's Garrett, Jones, and Blankenship. Not a lot of production, though. The first RBI of the game was off the bat of Blankenship back in the 3rd inning. But other than that, it's really been that middle to bottom of the order for Ashdown, and just not a lot of production from the Arkadelphia bats once again. Back out is Witten. He'll come out for what could be his last inning of the game if Arkadelphia is not able to come up with some pretty good production here in the top of the 7th. Same defense as we saw. Hooten at 3rd, Maddox Finley at short, Cobb at 2nd, Brown at 1st. In the outfield, of course, and left, Casterson, Campbell in center. Starting the game at center and moving over to right is Carter Babb. Leland Garrett, the batter. He is 0 for 3.
Sound like George Jetson.
That is the George Jetson doorbell. And a bunt laid down by Garrett. He wants to get on, and it's not going to happen for him, at least this time up. Hopefully there'll be another, but not this time up. He's 0 for 4.
That's a good play by Donovan Whitten, coming up, fielding his position, coming off the mound. It's a good bunt. Just Donovan made a nice strong throw, planted off that foot, and made a nice strong throw across.
Walt Jones, the talented sophomore shortstop. We've seen him with some good work in the field, not so much at the plate. He does have a walk. He did reach by an error. So he's actually 0 for 1 in the scorebook. But more than made up for it on the defensive side, making some good plays on the defensive side for Ashdown at shortstop. 2 balls and no strikes to Garrett. Or excuse me, Jones. Shadows have made their way across 3rd, across short. Might make their way to 2nd and 1st if another inning were to happen for Arkadelphia, but it's going to take a good showing here in the top of the 7th. And there's another walk, so Jones is on again. The 2nd time on base. Blankenship up for another at bat. He started things off for Ashdown, scoring back in the third inning with an RBI double. And now with one out and a runner at first. Ball gets away from the catcher, goes to the backstop, and a runner goes to second. Well, again, we've got a runner at second base now in scoring position in the Speedy Jones. And Caleb Blankenship, junior catcher, at the plate for the Panthers. Hill started to go out. Witten acted like he wasn't really wanting that visit, so he kind of turns and comes back behind the plate. 2 balls and no strikes now, and Witten working from behind again. Foul tip. Two balls and a strike. Badgers will send Witten, Hooten, and Hill to the plate in the top of the 7th. A lot needed for Arkadelphia to hang on to get this one. From 2-0 to 2-2 now, Witten has worked his way back into the count on a couple of fouls to Blankenship. Jones is still out there at second base. Reached on a walk and a pass ball to second base. And he's off and running. Ball is hit right back up the middle. It's playable. Cobb makes the play, the only play, and that is 4-3. The runner advances to third base. And Grayson Porter, the batter now. And Porter's been a hitting machine here as he's 2 for 3.
If nothing else, you'd like to, he had that, the last time he saw Donovan, it was Subway sandwich from going over the fence there in left center.
That's exactly right. Young man just nearly parked one out in the pine trees on a day primarily when the ball's been knocked down by a little bit of a breeze blowing in. But at that particular moment, may not have made a difference, but he just about sent it over the fence. 2 balls now and no strikes to him. 2 outs here in the inning. Arkadelphia one more at bat, but a big hill to climb. 2-0 high inside, ball 3. A win would put Ashdown in at least a tie for first base, depending on – there's a strike. Depending on what happens with Nashville today, Nashville and Ashdown atop the standings in 7-4A with no losses. Arkadelphia hanging on to that second place, but could turn loose of that real easy with a loss today. There's a fly ball that's going to get out to Babb. He's running hard down the line. It's going to get foul. It'll stay inside the park, but just enough foul that Babb could not get to it. So Porter will have another shot at it. And nice effort out there. Long run to the right-handed batter, as your right fielder is never going to play on that line down there with a right-hander up. So a long run for Babb. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We'll see if the runner goes from third. And another foul off to the right side this time. Way out of play. Jones is very active down there at third base. Not being held on. Regular depth for the infield. Arkadelphia scurrying down that line is Jones, and there's a shot. It's going to get right in front of Kesterson and drop in for a base hit. So when Porter just keeps on with his good day at the plate. And that hill gets a little bit higher now as it's 8-1 now. Ashdown. Hilton, the pitcher, he's gone all the way. He's also helped himself out. He's got an RBI single and a walk today. He's 1 for 2. First pitch is down and low. From the stretch, runner is off and going. The throw down from Hill is going to get past Cobb. It's going to get past Finley and roll all the way into center field. The runner does not advance.
They 1-1 on the count instead of 2-0.
It is a ball and a strike. Another runner in scoring position, but 2 outs on the board. Nice block there by Hill. That one gets in the dirt. He keeps it in front of him, keeps the runner at second. 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitch outside, it gets away from the catcher. He's going to get 1 base. We'll see if he tries home. He does not. And so it's a 3-1 count and a runner at third base now. A lot of balls getting to the backstop for Arkadelphia, and every time they do, it seems like there's a Panther runner that advances. 3-1. Strike 2. A little high, not liking it.
Your batter
is Hilton.
Asked the umpire, so where was it? Umpire pointed right at his chest. That was a generous.
Yeah.
I think that gentleman's from Ashdown. He might not be able to eat supper at someplace tonight, but it is 8-1, so I think they'll be fine with it.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna. Doesn't look like it's gonna be a game changer by any means.
No.
But runners at the corners now for the Panthers again. Horn going to go in and run again for Hilton. And it looks like Hilton's probably going to come back out for the 7th inning.
He'll finish this one off. I bet he only has about 60 pitches.
Yeah, he hadn't made a lot of pitches, hadn't had to. Walton, the center fielder. He is 0 for on the day. This has not been a day where there's just been a ton of hits. They've just been very timely for Ashdown. They've had runners on base. They've manufactured runs. They've walked. They've drawn some walks.
And they've taken advantage of miscues,
Taken advantage of a lot of Arkadelphia miscues. And because of it, it's 8-1. Courtesy runner scurries down to second base, so now runners at second and third. 1-1 the batter, or the count on the batter, Walton, the center fielder. Hill has that one get away from him to the right side, not enough to advance the runner from third. The runner at second sure wanted to go to third.
He did.
Here's the 2-1. Fouled off into the dugout of Ashdown. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. And another run across for Ashdown makes it 8-1. Strike 3 looking, and second strikeout of the day for Walton, and the Badger's going to come in and give it one more shot. We're going to take our last break of the day. It's going to be a 30-second one.
Maybe not. Maybe not be the last break of the day.
Maybe not. Hopefully not. But we're going to take our last break of the
sixth inning.
The 6th inning. We'll be back here to Ashdown. You're listening to Badger Baseball on ArkadelphiaBadgerTV.com.
Everyone's known for something. Ours is simple. At the Southwest Auto Collection and iDriveSWA.com, you get the absolute lowest price on America's best brands. Ford, Lincoln, Chevy, GMC, Buick, and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. The best selection and the lowest prices guaranteed. And we deliver anywhere in the state, plus tires for life. It really is that simple. Visit us today, the Southwest Auto Collection, I-30 exit 78 in Arkadelphia, or online at iDriveSWA.com.
Back to Ashdown. Well, it's turning into night, and we're just about to wrap up the regular inning part of this contest as Arkadelphia bats in the top of the 7th, trailing 8-1 to the Ashdown Panthers, and it has been all Ashdown this afternoon. Arkadelphia started out with the first run of the game back in the first inning, took a 1-0 lead, and that's the last lead they held. Going all the way, and there's going to be a bloop single, and just what Arkadelphia needed is a little bit of a blooper out there, a little Texas leaguer into short right field, and the first batter is on for Arkadelphia, and that is Witten. Here's Houston Hooten. Hooten 0 for 2 on the day. Hilton gone all the way for Ashdown on the bump. Outside to Hooten. Got a Witten and a Hooten and a Hilton. Witten is at first. Gets a good lead. Swing and looked like might have got a piece of it. Fouled back directly behind home plate. Ball and a strike to Arkadelphia's sophomore third baseman, getting a start at the hot corner today. Here's the 1-1. And that one may find a way to, nope, it's going to hang up just enough for Thomas to get to it. Thomas with good jump. He's gotten it all day long, and just a nice play out there. And so it's a fly out to left field for the first out. Here's Zane Hill. Hill is 0 for 2, and the ball gets up over the catcher of Ashdown this time, and into second base goes Witten.
Was the last time Arkadelphia had I guess it was Caden Brown leading off the top of the 4th. It's the last time Arkadelphia had anybody at second base, and he was stranded there. I don't even think he got to third. No, he didn't.
No, so Arkadelphia with the first runner in scoring position since the middle innings. Big cut under that high fastball. 1-1 to count on Hill. Kesterson on deck. straight back. Hill fouls it back. 1-2 now to the Arkadelphia catcher. Hilton cruising again. Let that first runner get on. Got first hitter get on with a bloop single in the right. And there's just a tip that got it enough to get into the catcher's bare hand, and I think that got some skin, and it is just cool enough today here, folks, that stings. That stings on a warm, sunny 75, but it really hurts on a 50-degree day. That's just a little cooler than it should be for baseball.
I think it pointed to his chest, like it might have got his chest, then his hand, but, man, that hurts regardless.
Yes, it does. Hill tomahawks one, and he gets it into left field. And a run across. Arkadelphia with something going here with an out, and Hill seeing eyes one into left field between short and third. And Arkadelphia now with two little blooper seeing eye singles, if you will, that, boy, we could have really used about 3 innings ago. But we'll take them. Kesterson now. He's 0 for 2. Pitch in the dirt, outside. Kesterson takes ball 1. Hill, arguably the fastest of the Badgers on the bases. We'll see if he tries to score. He's got the oven mitt on that left hand, being held on over there. And he doesn't on the 1-0. Now it's 2-0. Nope. That inside again is strike 1. So, again, a pitch that a right-handed hitter just cannot hit is called for strike 1 now on Kesterson.
Going back there right now.
Throw over to first. Not in time. Hill goes back without getting down. Cobb at the plate for Arkadelphia. One out, one on here. And run across for Arkadelphia. The first run on the board for the Badgers since the first inning. And it's 8-2. So finally into crooked number territory on the scoreboard for Arkadelphia and there's a shot that's going to get out into right center field, and a great jump on it over there. Man, just a great jump by Walton. He gets over there, and to his right and left, or to his right and left goes Thomas, and I believe either one of them could have got to it. Just a nice play over there by that very efficient.
Just hang up in the air just too much. I mean, that was well hit ball. It just kind of hung up in there.
Very
hung
well
up in the
hit.
air.
Cobb, with 2 outs now, fouls his first pitch back up and out of play. Badgers down to their last out. Cobb were to reach back to the top of the order in BAB. Still being held on. And there's one that gets past the catcher. So a little bit of that mojo starting to come around for Arkadelphia. Is it too little and too late, though?
Just you got 1 out to play with. There's a lot of slack on that rope for Hilton. Let Coach Cross. He's an old pitcher. He knows what it means for a pitcher to close out his own victory. That's what he's going to let Hilton try to do.
Yeah, and he knows Arkadelphia is a good team. They may not have had a great showing today, but he knows Arkadelphia is a big team, is a good team, and he knows Ashdown doesn't care for Arkadelphia that much and wants this win pretty bad. They would definitely be very celebratory for their pitcher, and he may get this last out. He's going to fade over and make the play. And so that's the way it's going to end. 8-2 is the final as Arkadelphia falls their second conference loss in as many tries. They're 1-2 now on the conference. 2-2 in conference play. And after a couple of losses, looking to get back on the winning side. It'll be after spring break, though, so we're going to let these guys go rest their arms and hopefully make some adjustments, get the wrinkles ironed out, and we'll see you guys back here on your Mascot Media app or your ArkadelphiaBadgerTV.com streaming. Well, we're going to call it a night here from Ashdown. On behalf of Chris Babb, I'm Blake Bell saying thank you for being here with us today, and we'll be back after spring break. Final score from Ashdown. Ashdown Panthers 8, Arkadelphia Badgers 2. Everyone, so long and have a great evening.